Part of the big problem with our generation, placing too much importance on social media, too much importance on refining their appearance to validate their worth in an era of social media's control and means of a validation of one's worth. It's a frightening path when credentials may become and abilities may become less important, less pivotal than, one's amicableness and compatibility to those, values that have risen with the explosion of the social media trend. And like I said, for someone like me who's a smart man who doesn't care about simple stuff like that, passive, this, superficial, very, they're not that important in the long term of things. So someone who is a principled person who's driven, simply by goals and motivation, not, superficial nuances, could do really well if it gets worse, because, I could see it getting worse. Obviously, we saw, parodied in that Netflix thing, Don't Look Up, about, that meteor crash. But let's just say, for example, it becomes a governmental thing, right? Instead of presidents, they have an influencer. An influencer who is, blonde with the poofy hair and looks really good from all angles. Maybe some filters, maybe not. But the point is that they're not qualified. They might have lowered the age, so a 26 or 27-year-old, fluffy hair TikTok guy could be president or whatever, right? And everybody formerly in the government with actual credentials who knew what they were doing, who made things, run in terms of logistics, in terms of security, in terms of defense, went off without a hitch for the most part. Now they're all replaced. If you don't fit the good algorithms, you're not a social media personality-esque person, you're out. I don't care what your credentials are. Here's to this TikToker, this YouTuber, this Instagrammer, this Twitch person gets to be our, Securities and Exchange Commission guy. The point is that could be problematic. Let's say a resistance, starts up, right? Who start fighting and trying to restore a society where actual things matter in terms of credentials, in terms of skill, in terms of, wit and one's ability to do something, and not just look good, sound good, or, be loved by people and or bots. The point is that someone who's principled and consistent would do good in that. So let's say that happens, right? And there's resistance. And maybe at that point, people realize how smart I am finally when the Sims, the Morgans, etc. knock this homophobia off. But let's say they interview me to be the psychological and, information fighter against the resistance, obviously for the unqualified social media president's government. And the guy looks at me and says, you know what, you've aged too much. Let's say it's just 15 years from now, and I don't like you. You don't look good on social media. You don't trend well. Find me someone who can trend well, who can do the same job as this faggot Wagner. I say, okay, and I walk out. I immediately call the resistance and say, you know what, I'll work for you pro bono, but if we do win this, I would like to be in charge of whatever government arises, intelligence apparatus, as well as their justice system at the highest level. So basically that'd be the new top dog in terms of justice, fairness, and obviously intelligence, acquisition, etc. They agree, and funnily enough, I'm able to totally cream the crap out of, those who are unqualified, who are just hired as eye candy for the social media priority. And at that point, they hire a new person who, for the position that I would have, been given if they're blonde, poofy hair, unqualified, 30-year-old president from TikTok that wasn't so quick to dismiss me. They hire, let's say, a blonde, girl who's 24, who's got extremely limited credentials, but does look good on TikTok, no doubt. So, at that point, they see, me being interviewed on as the resistance on the news. And they're saying Ian Wagner, lead achete of intelligence and, combating the psychology of this, government of hysteria. And I'm on there giving an interview, and they're like, this guy can't be winning. He can't be, gaining control and leverage over us. There's no way. He doesn't help the metrics as much. And at that point, they try to broadcast their own signal with this blonde, unqualified, camera-ready girl, right? She drops her binder of what she was going to say, and has to, go down and grab it, but her hair gets messed up. I gotta be back. I gotta fix my hair. And goes into the bathroom, and they say, I know it's important. We all have to look good. We all have to look good. Looking good and having a lot of followers and friends and being seen as popular, that makes us right, and that makes everything we say true and just. But you have to come out. They're going to gain control of the missile silos pretty quick. Well, they got control of the missile silos. I'm still fixing my hair. The point is that superficiality should not win. Homophobia should not win. I will fight this. Now, this retarded soy boy does have to wipe the drool off my face right now because I am totally a retarded idiot.